Hello viewers, the main objective of today's lecture is on the texts which mention the images of Parvati, the consort of Shiva, Mahadeva, the god of destruction. Parvati is Shakti and is the wife of Shiva, the Mahadeva. She is the constant companion of her husband. She is regarded as incarnation of Adi Parashakti. Mostly, she is considered a benevolent goddess, but had wrathful incarnations too. Parvati is one of the Sanskrit words for mountains. She, being the daughter of Himavat, lord of the mountain, she is called Shailja, daughter of the mountains. Durga Sapsati mentions her 108 names like Ambika means dear mother, Gauri, fair complexioned, Bhavani, Shiva Radhani, queen of Shiva, and many hundreds of others. Numerous ancient Indian texts describe the various forms of Parvati, the consort of Shiva, the god of gods. In the Harivamsa, Parvati is known as Aparna. In the same text, she is called as Uma, who was dissuaded by her mother from severe austerity by saying, Uma, oh, don't. In the Kena Upanishad, the goddess Uma Himavati reveals to the gods the knowledge of Brahma. By the time of the sutras, a new development took place. The Sankhyana Shruta Sutra refers to Shiva along with his consort known as Bhavani, Ishani, Rudrani, and Arki. By the time of Bodhyana Graha Sutra, the position of Rudra's consort is well established, and she is worshipped like the god himself, and has several epithets such as Durga, Arya, Bhagavati, Mahakali, and Deva Sankri in her aspects, benign as well as malignant. So, in the Puranas, Shiva and Parvati are represented as engaged in making love to each other or as seated in Mount Kailash, discussing the most obtuse questions of Hindu philosophy. Occasionally, however, quarrel arose between them. For example, when Shiva reproached her for the blackness of her skin, she left him and started performing a most severe course of austerities until Brahma granted her a boon that her complexion should be golden, and from this circumstance she is known as Gauri. The general form of goddess Gauri, Parvati or Uma, the consort of Shiva, as given in Kashyapa Shilpa and the Manasara, is that she has 2 arms when accompanying the god Shiva and 4 when represented independently. In the former, she is fully decorated, is standing or seated on a lotus pedestal, holds a blue lily in the right hand, while her left hand down close, like the tail of a cow. She wears a band on the forehead called falapata, has one of her legs slightly bent, kanchita, and the other placed straight, lambita, on the pedestal. She stands to the left of the image of Shiva or the Shivalinga and wears the head dress Karna Dama Mukta, Kirta Mukta or Kesha Bandha. In the later also, she is fully decorated, has a Jata Mukta like a male deity, and presents with her lower hands the Varada and Abhaya postures, while in the upper two she holds the red and the blue lotuses. Gauri is usually represented with the ornaments of an unmarried girl, Kanya, sometimes doing penance with the object of securing Shiva for her husband, and in this form she is worshipped by the Maheswaras. The Varaha Purana describes her origin. Brahma went on a visit to Shiva on Mount Kailash, is thus addressed by him. Say quickly, O Brahma, what has induced you to come to me? Brahma replied, there is a huge asura named Andhaka, by whom all the gods have been distressed. Brahma looked at Shiva, who by thought called Vishnu into their presence. As the three gods looked at each other from their three refulgent glances, sprang into being a virgin. She appears like the petals of blue lotus and adorned with gems, who vastly bowed before Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. On questioning her who she was and why she was disguised by the three colors, black, white and red, she replied, from your glances was I produced. Do you not know your own omnipotent energies? Brahma then praised her, said, thou shalt be named the goddess of three times, the preserver of the universe, and under various appellations shall thou be worshipped, as thou shalt be the cause of accomplishing the desires of thy votaries. But, O goddess, divide herself into three forms, one white, one red and one black. The white was Saraswati, of a lovely felicitous form, and the co-operator with Brahma in the creation. And red was Lakshmi, who with him preserves the universe. The black was Parvati, the energy of Shiva. The Vaivarta Puran relates the circumstance which led to the reappearance on earth of Uma, who had sacrificed herself and became Sati under the form of Parvati. It is said that Shiva began to dance in a most frantic way when he raised the dead body of Sati in his arms. The earth trembled when Vishnu, fearing there would be an utter destruction of the universe if this were allowed to continue. He let fly his most powerful disc to cut the body of Sati into 51 pieces. These fell in different places, and wherever a part touched the earth, the spot became sacred. Parvati is represented in pictures as a fair and beautiful woman with no superfluity of limbs. Few miraculous deeds are said to have been wrought by her. It is when she appears as Durga, Kali, etc. The goddess Durga is being personified under different names in different forms by different groups of people. Goddess Durga is only a personified form of Parvati. She was brought under the names of Krishna Karura, Ganesha Janani, Anna Purana, Jag Gauri, then China Masta, Tara, Kali, Mahesha Maradani, and Mukta Keshi. Parvati is the ideal chaste wife and devotee of Shiva. She is his spiritual disciple, and there are many Puranic and Tantric texts in which detailed spiritual instructions are given in the form of conversations between the two. Like her ascetic husband, who is often described as the perfect yogi, Parvati is given to spiritual practices. She is the one who domesticates the renounced Shiva, drawing him into household life and becoming the mother of his two sons, Ganesh and Satanda. Parvati is known by many names such as Girija and Hemavati, which reference her role as the daughter of the Himalayas, Kameshwari, the controller of the god of desire, Kama and Uma. Other names related to her identity as Shiva's consort include Ishani, consort of the trident-bearing Shiva; Bhavani means wife of Bhava, another name for Shiva; Maheshwari and Yogeshwari, goddess of the yogis. The Kurma Purana lists numerous epithets of Parvati. Maheshwari came seated on a bull holding a fine trident, wearing bracelets of the great serpent and adorned with a streak of the moon, Chandra Rekha. According to the Vishnu Puran, she has 6 hands and 5 faces and mounts the bull. In the right hand, she shows the Varada pose and holds a rosary, sutra, and a kettle drum, damru. In the left hand, she has a trident, a bell, ghanta, and shows the Abhaya. Maheshwari, the second Matrika in the Shri Tattva Nidhi, has a bull as her mount. According to this text, she has 5 faces, 3 eyes, and 10 hands. In the right hand, she has a sword, the thunderbolt, a trident, a battle axe, and the Abhaya pose. And in the left hands, she shows the pose Vara and the emblems, a nose, a bell, a serpent, and a goat. She has a crescent over her head and has white complexion. Yogeshwari. The Varaha Purana relates the origin of the seven mothers with the Shivas fighting with the Andhakasura, who was endued with the power of multiplying into many secondary demons of equal strength and vigor than his primary self. If his blood oozing from the wounds of his own body fall on the ground. According to the version of this story, the god Shiva created out of the flame that was issuing from the mouth a Shakti called Yogeshwari to stop the blood from falling on the ground. Annapurna. In the Shri Tattva Nidhi, two forms of Annapurna are described. According to one form, she is a two-handed goddess with red complexion and three eyes. Her breasts are high and the face is round like the full moon. In her left hand, she carries a vessel set with the rubies and containing in it honey. In the right hand, she has a spoon set with rubies containing delicious rice. When the goddess is represented with four hands, her color is described as that of mercury, but in other bodily features, she is similar to Dvibhuja Annapurna. In her four hands, she shows the Abhay and Vara poses and holds a nose and a goad. She has three eyes and a crescent moon over the head. Gauri. The consort of Shiva is variously named such as Parvati, Uma, Kali, Durga, Ambika, etc. Uma and Parvati are the names of the goddesses, representing her beautiful and auspicious form. Gauri represents the fertility aspect of Shiva Shakti. She sits on the lotus throne made of 8 petals of the flower. Her sitting posture is described as Vanaya Kant. In the first right hand of the goddess, which is adorned with the Kayura, there is a lotus with a big star. The left hand holds the pot of ambrosia. In the rest of the two hands, there is a vilva fruit and the shankh. Her color is white like the marble. Shri Tattva Nidhi explains, when shown along with Shiva, at his left the goddess Gauri should be shown in the black color with 3 eyes and 2 arms holding lotus. In the Grahanidhi of the Shri Tattva Nidhi, Gauri is described as the daughter of Grindra, having the crescent in her hand and riding a bull. The Vishnu Dharmottara Purana describes Gauri as an unmarried girl. Gauri may be represented with 2 hands or 4 hands. As two-handed Gauri, she should show in her hands the Varada and Abhaya poses. And as Gauri of 4 hands, she should hold Akshmala, Padma and Kamandalu, and the 4th one shows the Abhaya Mudra. She sits on the lotus throne. But as the consort of Shiva, that is the married Gauri, she is more preferably known as Uma or Parvati. In this form, the Rupa Mandana describes the features of Uma as having 4 hands, holding in them a rosary, a lotus, a mirror, and a water pot. As Girija, she possesses the beautiful body and occupies her place at the left of the god Shiva. In this form, she has 2 hands and 2 eyes. Durga in the Kashyapa Shilpa represents her as having 4 arms, 2 eyes, high hips, high breasts, and ornaments. She holds the conch and the disc in her upper hands, while her right lower hand presents the Abhay posture and the left lower rests on the waist. She stands on lotus pedestal and has a breastband of serpents and a red petticoat. So, according to the Shilparatana, Mata Durga holds in her lower hands the bow and the arrow. Durga, having 16 arms, is mentioned in the Shri Tattvanidhi. She is described as having 3 eyes and trident entwined with snakes. Her neck is of blue color, while the complexion is Shyama. In the Devi Suktam, she sits on the lion and is adorned with the moon on her forehead. She holds conch, discus, bow and arrow. She has 3 eyes and wears pole armlets, necklace, bangles, tinkling girdle and jingling anklets and gem-studded earrings. She destroys all miseries. Parvati is so closely united with Shiva that the two are sometimes depicted in a combined form. In this iconography known as Ardhanarishwara, Parvati, adorned with her ornaments, is on the left side and Shiva on the right. According to most of the Puranas, Meena, the wife of the presiding deity of the Himalayan mountains, gave birth to Parvati. On that day, the sky was clear and the earth appeared auspicious in every quarter. Men's minds were enlivened and joyous, and the gods stood in the sky and showered flowers upon Himachal mountains above. Assuming the form of a baby girl, Parvati came from Meena's womb like Lakshmi, coming out from the milk ocean. The goddess grew up in that mountainous regions. Her name Parvati immortalizing her relations to the Himalayas. As a child, she desired to perform austerities, and her mother would say, "Oh, no, oh, Ma." She thus became known as Uma. One day Narada came to Himachal abode and looked at Parvati palm at the request of her father. He predicted this girl body is decorated with auspicious signs. Himachal looked anxious to know more about her future. Narada said, "It is the great Lord Shiva of whom I speak. There could be no better spouse than he." Parvati, filled with joy to hear his predictions, and began to pray. Not long after that, the god came to the Himachal mountains with many of his followers to practicing asceticism on its peaks. Himachal greeted him and offered her daughter to serve him. Shiva refused. She would herself have to engage in strict asceticism, then he would accept her. According to Shri Tattvanidhi, Gauri have 6 varieties named Parvati, Shri, Ramba, Tala and Tripura. The four-armed goddess stands in the Samapada Sthananaka pose, having the attributes like lingam with rosary in the upper right, a trident in the upper left. She bears a bone or pomegranate in the lower right and vase in the lower left hand. Ramba is another form of worshipping the goddess Gauri. She fulfills all the desires of her devotees. She sits on an elephant. She has four arms. She bears Kamandhin, Akshmala, Vajra and Ankura. To Khalal is another aspect of Gauri who bears Shula, Akshmala, Danda and a white chariot. Shiva's consort Parvati or Uma likewise, especially in her manifestation as Kali, is the energy that destroys, that makes the world involve or draw itself into the quiescent state from which it started or evolved. In fact, a sect of worshippers called Shaktas, the adherents of Shakti or energy, affirm that this Shakti, the feminine element in God, is the soul, if not the preponderating cause of all visible phenomena. It may be noted that the word Shakti is one of the feminine gender in the Sanskrit language. Almost every human or divine activity has been personified as goddess, even the letters of the alphabet being supposed to have their presiding deities. This theory of goddesses has pervaded even Jainism and Buddhism, the latter especially in its Mahayana development. Strict Shakti worshippers do not make any distinction of castes and creed. Perhaps it was thus that Shakti faith became one of the compromises, providing a common meeting ground for the different forms of religion prevailing in India. Parvati is the form of goddess most closely associated with Shiva. In many common images, the two are shown bounded in a sensuous embrace. According to Hindu scripture, Parvati took birth at the behest of Brahma for the very purpose of luring Shiva into marriage and having his child. These accounts narrate that she had a previous incarnation as Sati, who had also been Shiva's consort. In that life, she had immolated herself after hearing husband in search. Thank you.